All right. So we're going to start as usually with a pencil sketch, to position our bicycle on the paper. So you choose, for example, in this drawing I did before the class, I have little space left for the shadow, and to show this rainy feeling, then it's exactly these reflections on the ground because it's water. So if you want, you can leave a bit more space, under the bike. So let's say this is our paper, yes, and then you kind of mark how big is the figure. So let's say the umbrella maybe can be really on top, yeah. And then let's say I will mark somewhere here the bicycle, and we'll leave a bit more space for the reflection of the wheels, yeah. Then it's maybe more interesting. And then you also, you've marked the height, yes. So it's also a little bit with these measuring techniques. So, for example, you can measure, yeah. You can say, okay, the width is, it's almost maybe like 1.5 times up. So it just, to get the proportions. It's good always sometimes to check big measurements. Or maybe you've drawn and then you check to correct. But it helps also to develop your eye, because later you will already won't need to take the pencil and measure and move it, but you will have already your eye much better, yeah. So you've marked more or less in the paper for the figure, yeah. So up for umbrella, and here are some wheels, and we will also mark on the page this big direction of this black, so where the street is changing, yeah. And we're gonna do it a bit slope, yeah. So let's say somewhere here, you can mark. While we're marking this direction, it will help us also a little bit with bicycle, because we like the wheels is also the wheel that is closer to us, the back wheel is bigger, yeah, and the one with in front, we should paint it a bit smaller, exactly again of this perspective. And yeah, so only if someone is bicycling really just in front of you, yeah, perpendicularly, then the wheels are the same, yeah. So we can so you can start marking wheels. And again, for example, as of course, if it's, if you're sitting live, you're not able to do this. But of course, if you have a picture, for example, you can take a size of small wheel and say how much it's getting inside. Yeah, it's getting inside also almost like 3 times in the whole width I've chosen. Yeah, so this helps me more or less maybe to choose, yeah, how the width of the wheel. And yeah, and also, feel free to sketch, and then of course you can erase and correct the wheel, the shape, yeah, but more or less. And then, as I said, the back wheel is a bit bigger, so you can either measure the small wheel and put this distance again, get a bit bigger, or just, of course, on your eye. And also, for example, I did now the wheel. I feel they are a bit too big for the picture. It means that my girl with the umbrella won't fit. Yeah. So, for example, I can check again. If I take the height of my wheel, yeah, and I go up, so one wheel up, and I'm getting on the shoulder of the girl. Yes. So if I'm doing this on my paper, yes, then the shoulder is really high here. I have no space for the head and for the umbrella. Yeah, so I will make my wheels a bit more smaller in height, and then they also look nicer. I did them maybe a bit too squeezed vertically. Yeah. So it's always good to do such stuff before you start doing details. Yeah, so before I start painting all details of bicycle and the legs, have it all good position. Yeah, sometimes it's one is in a hurry and you know, you want to quickly get to the interesting parts. But so for example, my wheel somewhere here, so maybe somewhere here is the shoulder, yeah, of the girl. Then of course I can start constructing bicycle. For example, this center, yes, of the wheel, it's also on the paper. It won't be like in the real center of our circle. It should be moved a little bit to the front. Yes, it's again with this perspective. Remember also when we did the chair and we put the center of the chair, and it's kind of, you do the two diagonals crossed, and as we have this a bit in perspective, then the center moves. So a little bit, yeah, the back wheel is more central because it's kind of more front to us. But of course, it's all very little corrections. All right, then we can just some main bicycle structure lines. So it was also interesting. I watched some video on YouTube, and people were asked to draw a bicycle in memory. Yeah, and it was funny because it was kind of, we all know the bicycle, but to draw it, the people all got it a bit wrong. So they kind of connected all these lines the way the bicycle won't move, you know. So. So yes, so the part the girl is sitting, then the part it all connects to the front, and then the part where the chain goes. So for example, also this the parts that connect the wheel. Yes, the one that, of course, in front of me, I draw it like more dark and more bigger. And the one that is behind, yeah, I still, of course, draw it because, you know, that in construction way, so I'm meaning like this back line. Yeah, and then also when I paint it, we do it more light color, also get smaller. And then the feeling is that is okay, it's there behind then of course it's good to draw. So the protection on the wheel, you know, against of splashes, you kind of in purpose you draw that it's a bit kind of above the wheel itself. Yeah, so I kind of draw this setup. Yeah, and also like watch the position, because the front wheel, of course, it has it lower, yes, to protect the legs, and the back wheel has it a bit more just higher. Yeah, like usually it's in the bikes. And what else am I missing? Okay, of course, I can draw already more or less the seating. So also, if you look, for example, on the picture I sent you, the reference, so it's the photo and you can see the bicycle there more detailed. So you will see also when painting the wheel itself, so the black part and this metal ring part, yes. So in from the view, you will see the black part on this side, like a lot, and then it's going almost to nothing on the right side of the wheel. Yes, of course, here with my blue, you can't see, but on this painted image, you can see that here on the left side, I have it a lot. I see the black part, But here I see more this metallic part, and the same on the front wheel. So it's also when we paint, we don't paint just one black circle. Yes, we paint here, we paint more black, and there we paint less black and more metal. And especially later with the brush, it may be more, difficult, because with the pencil you can do it all nicely, the width of metal part and different parts, but you take the brush and then it's all gone. So it's kind of important to have it clear, the concept, and then it will work with the brush and the paint. Yeah. So I also feel it's maybe a bit this direction of from the front wheel. I have it maybe a bit more, so I would change this angle, do it maybe more. So I would erase it and put the line where already the steering wheel coming more different, so then it looks a bit more compact. So with the girl, it's pretty much easy. Yeah, we start drawing. Okay, so we have the sitting part of bicycle. Okay, we draw this little part of pants. We see the vertical line for the back, for the jumper. And then we have marked more or less the where his shoulder is. So it also helps, not to make the figure too small, too big. Then you kind of use these proportions. Yeah, so you take just the height of your wheel, put it one more up, and where your pencil ends, there will be the shoulder. So yeah, and then also helps again this checking the vertical position of the line. So okay, I have where my shoulder ends, but where it goes vertically, then I just take vertical line, and I see, for example, where it connects with the bicycle. So where this wheel thing for the chain thing is ending, more or less there is my shoulder. So it's kind of much more squeezed, yes, because maybe I would draw my shoulder much more on the right, but then it would be the figure would be too big. Yeah, and we mark here a dark shadow under the arm, because it's kind of one of the main points of, to show the figure. So we kind of end with the jumper. So if you want, you can kind of mark umbrella. So here I did the shoulder, so I kind of did this arm, and I put a straight line of the umbrella. So then I can already have kind of the center of my umbrella. Yes, because I have my arm, somewhere there she's holding. So from here I can start kind of sketching my umbrella. And again, it helps. It's kind of, you do it in the parallel way when you're drawing and sketching. So I start drawing my umbrella, and at the same time, I'm just looking visually. Of course, if it helps, you take the pencil, and I look, okay, where my umbrella is ending. It's ending kind of in the middle of the back wheel, and in front, almost with the wheel. So then it helps me really kind of quickly to get the size of umbrella correctly. Yeah? So I can say somewhere here, and then I'm set to go to do this size. Yeah. And then umbrella pretty much simple. So so it has these black parts that are showing under. We are doing them a bit different. So it's kind of, there are 3 parts. Yes, in the middle, there is more black, in front and behind a bit less. So it's again, not drawing all the same, having different lines, yeah? But before defining this middle part of umbrella, I'll do the head. And so then I can match, yeah? So in case I have more space left, I can make just my umbrella bigger because in this size I can play. Yes, with the head not much, because with the head I have to get into proportion. But umbrella, who knows? It can be big, small umbrella. So, in, kind of, you have to know which parts you can kind of cheat a bit. Yeah. So and. And there will be also later like more shadow on the hair. So with the hair and head is really just marking hair and just some shape of face. So that I was, when I was checking bicycle, you know, I checked like from behind, and of course it's easier to the figure. And then we have our leg. So with leg, it's also interesting. So the length and the angle, also not to make it too small. It's also useful to check kind of the points. So just, of course, checking the knee, and you say, okay, how low is the knee? And then I can like horizontally check with the bicycle wheels. Yeah, it's going a little bit just under the upper side of wheel. Yeah, so somewhere here maybe is my knee. Yeah, and then just kind of connecting the lines. But it also helps to then the other side. Then it's of course fancy shoe of the girl. And again, yes, not to make it too high or too low. You just kind of check horizontally with the position of the wheels. So somewhere here, maybe her shoe will be ending. So shoe. What else? So you can also, this line of the street, yeah, you can kind of connect it. So I did it like behind the bicycle, but of course a bit less, you know, not to strike off our bicycle, but just, you know, still not forget to draw the line behind the bicycle, because then of course it's transparent. You can also mark, for example, these metal lines of on the wheel, you know, the ones that, but of course not much, just maybe few. Yeah, and then just it gives the feeling. Also, if you look in the picture, they're almost invisible, but if you mark like one or two, it just makes a better feeling of the wheel. Yeah, and later anyway, with the paint, yeah, and I forgot to put them on the drawing, so later we can experiment. But there, of course, it just like has to be very light strike of the brush, you know, so they are thin and. So you tell me how you're going with the figure. No.
I've started again because my wheels just looked a bit odd. They weren't. I've found something circle to draw around, so I'm just going to quickly just do it again.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, you can also feel free to send Darren, choose. Yeah.
Okay. Just the wheels just didn't look right.
Because also the rest of the drawing is much more easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also it's like you did the drawing, and then of course you check. For example, here I feel okay. Maybe my wheel, the front wheel looks still too high. Yeah. Then I can just kind of just give more feeling to my back wheel. Oh, and I forgot, of course, the steering wheel. Won't go far away without it.
No.
Although biking without steering wheel is also possible. I mean, and then there's some nice basket. Yeah. Girl. So. you can also mark then your shadow of the wheels. It's basically just kind of this, like almost the same, because so if you, for example, of course, look in Google some pictures in real life, like put attention how the street looks with the rain, when all the pavement is with water, then it has all these reflections, and what is has light color is reflected like light and dark, so it's got a pretty much like mirror, yeah, reflections. And so I'm gonna put some oh, is it Darren? Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, your bike looks, yeah, you got it good, like with the shape. Yeah, very nice, Darren. Darren is already with all the sketch. Yeah, so then I choose also the width of, so I have the part where she's bicycling, then I have the width of like, this is walking part of the street. Yeah. And then also here, I remember about the perspective. So we've chosen, okay, this line of the street is going this direction. Yes, then this line should be already a little bit more towards to horizontal. Yeah, so it starts moving like this. And then the upper line of the windows, it can already go a little bit down, because we imagine, for example, we're watching the girl and our eye height maybe somewhere here. Yes, so it means that all these lines are going towards this line, and the windows can already go down. So the lower part of the windows, of course, is still going, the line is going up, but from the top it can already go a little bit down. Yes, because we're not watching her like from above. If we would be like watching from the height, then of course all the lines would go up. Yeah. And also when you do then the windows, remember that the windows here on the left should be bigger and this one should be smaller. Yes, and it's of course, as they are kind of still close to each other, so there is not much distance. So there is not this huge difference. If I would have a long street, then the windows in the end of the street would be really small. Yes, and this one would be bigger. But as here we have maybe just some few meters difference, then yeah, but still it gives this effect. If I do them bigger here and this one's a bit smaller, then it already feels okay, they're far away. Yeah. And what's the other thing with the windows that just very practical helps too, you do all these kind of angle, you do this depth. Yeah, so it's also, as we are looking from kind of left side to the right, then I see only this part. Yeah, so on here I see just one line, just where the window kind of starts, and then because then it's there inside the wall. Yeah, I don't see this. And also it's the same for so on the left side it would be bigger. Yeah, and on the right side, the windows that are more far away, it's already much more smaller, these depths, yes, that we see. And just kind of remembering these details, and when you do the drawing, then it kind of creates a nice, correct feeling. Yeah, so the people who will be watching, of course, they won't be looking and measuring, oh, if your window is correct, but it just creates this general feeling, then it's correct. Yeah, but if you get it wrong, then the people would say, something is not, but they won't be maybe know what exactly. And then of course you can choose, you can do behind also maybe window, or choose, I just do some maybe building, just can be different, maybe some lines. And so maybe behind the girl, we do just some neutral building wall. Yeah, not too. And then, so in this case, I've chosen to do the windows with the light, because then it's easier to show this effect of the rain, of the wet pavement. Because if I say I do the daytime, so then the windows would be more dark, they would be just black, and our whole building would be more light, yeah? And then basically it would be similar reflection on the ground, and kind of the opposite, where I have the yellow parts, I would have like more, just kind of more dark black reflections, and the other parts of pavement would be more light. But as it's kind of light, I mean, if it's already nighttime, then we turn on light, and then this yellow, we can get this yellow feeling. And then, so with pencil, you kind of mark for yourself more or less where these yellow reflections are living. So then we don't lose them later. Yeah. So I will feel free to finish, take your time. I will just talk about the brushes. So in painting this girl, I used like very dry brush technique, meaning just very little water. Yeah, it helps me with different parts, like here on the wall. Yeah, so you already know it when you have little water, the brush is kind of almost no painting on the paper, and then I just leaving marks, and somewhere leaving paper unpainted. Yeah, here also. Yeah, so and also some, like, my brush a bit more fluffy, and it also kind of helps. Yeah, then it creates just more these lines. Yeah, but it's like very detailed. So basically, I have, of course, a small brush that would help me to do all these bicycle things, more easy. And also I kind of did it with a dry brush, and just later when where needed, yes, for example, just to make more accent on this back part of the wheel, then I just took, a bit more water, more paint, and like marked again. But in the start, like very little water, dry brush, and then kind of marking it all, and then it helps to save the drawing more light. Yes, and then just where needed, you put more accents. Mm-hmm. So, but you're just doing with the watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the gouache being quite similar in that respect. I thought, because I'm
with the watercolor,
I'm trying to get the bike in a moment. Still doing that at the moment.
Yeah, just for example, imagining if I would work now with watercolors, it's just the thing that I paint also with watercolors, but I paint with them as if it's acrylics or gouache. So it kind of makes no sense, because I'm not using all these what watercolors are for. It's like it's like a lot of water, and it kind of lets the paint do the job, you know, you kind of accept how the watercolor mixed, and so it's and I'm always kind of struggling, and I end up just using very dry brush with the dry with watercolors and basically the same. So it's I mean, just if to give you like advice, so if I would be painting with watercolors,
I am listening. I'm just drawing at the same time.
I would start it like differently. I would do all the background, you know, so all the watery street and and later when it's already dry, you do some like touch-ups of the girl, of the, you know, the figure. But with acrylics or gouache, we're gonna start with the figure. But I mean, in acrylics also, you also can start, you know, making just dry lines and more precise or bicycle. But it just like discussion of the meaning of watercolors in itself. So it's okay. We started slowly with
You go for it. It's just I'm still fiddling.
Okay. So very also, for example, I have here one long brush. It can be anything, but it will help me a little bit to do the straight lines. It's just like a little trick. So, but not really putting the ruler. And it's also, is it like round, and it helps me, you know, still to move my brush a little bit in air. So I will start a little bit marking these long lines, just avoiding the bicycle part. Just the corners. So so we're starting just with the black color, and we are doing kind of all the black parts. We do these street lines, we do bicycle, and then after the black we then we move to other colors. So take my small brush, take a bit black, and here it just, of course I can do without it, but it's just okay, a little kind of trick. So I can just kind of but still I'm moving a bit, you know, like in air, so not really, but and again, okay, now I got a bit more water brush, but you can have it also more dry, and then it will have more just tracking. And I'll do also the second line here under the building. And the first line should be more big, so I can now just go and add a bit more, so it's more thick, more big. It's the main line, and there the back line is just for the house, and later it's going to vanish with the wall. So now I have just my black color, and I control how much water it is, because then if I have less water, I can have all these kind of dry brush stuff. It's okay. Later on, we can still correct this line when we do all the rest. And if it's gone, of course, you just add a bit more. And now I go to my bicycle, and so just the main black parts. And again, not marking the wheel all circle black. I'm marking then, of course, this wheel protection. That protects us from splashes. This one, feel free to mark it more. Of course, if you look at the picture, then it also has its, because it's also metal, then it has its reflections. There is some like line that is light. So it depends. You can also think about it and leave it, Yeah, but of course, if paper size too small and the brush won't let you, then you say, okay, then my drawing is more. Yeah. And then I'm marking back part of the wheel, but I'm not going all around the wheel, so I'm just marking here till when it touches the ground. And from the part where it touches the ground, I will go later with the gray. Yeah, so so now it's kind of, you look at the drawing and you choose which parts are dark, are black, or it's also kind of creating a bit of contour. Yeah. And so then I do the same with the next wheel. Yeah, and again, also I can, this wheel protection, maybe not all the part is black. Yes, so you can on purpose leave some white spots, later get in with some gray, yeah, just to create some also reflections. And yeah, but here is already a bit more important that your drawing with pencil was correct, and then the shape of the wheel, yeah, you of course you can correct it later a bit, but that's why sometimes you spend more time on the pencil drawing.
Yeah, which I am. On it, sorry. Just
don't worry, take your time, because it's but also remember, if you do watercolors, remember to lighten up the pencil.
Yes, I will
because
do.
It's especially, yeah, there.
Yeah, she's got gorgeous high heels on, by the way. I've just I've just had to those in.
Looks fancy.
Very fancy.
I mean, in Europe, I would bicycle all the time, but here it's kind of no conditions to bicycle. So
no, I understand that. I should imagine it's quite hilly, isn't it?
Yeah, but bicycle, it kind of makes you happy.
Oh.
Because you're kind of moving, you know, this process. And okay, then also, for example, moving for these wheel connections, then again, this the part that is in front of the wheel, I make it more black and more thick. Yes. And the one on the back, also you can either leave it and later we do it with more gray, or you do just a little light and touch up of black. Yeah, but it should be the difference should be visible. If you paint them with the same black, then it kind of looks all plain. Yes, I'm like putting this attention, because then we create this 3D. And so, and the same on the other wheel. Yeah. So, for example, these circles, yeah, you can. It's also, you can be just more creative, just some dots, not.
With these spokes in the wheels, are they actually straight, or is there a curve in the spokes? Ones at the front.
Spokes, you mean this?
In the wheels, yeah.
In the wheel, yeah. So
yeah.
You mean how to draw them, or?
Yeah. So do I need to, if I'm going to put them in, because on this painting there isn't, is there?
It's you can put them in like really in the end. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because also, if you take a look at the photo, they're almost invisible because it's moving.
Yeah.
And you kind of see maybe one or two, yeah, somewhere.
Okay.
So and also now painting with color, so now with the pencil you can just forget about them, and then later you just mark with the paint.
There, I'm just putting in the windows.
I mean, of course, because I did the drawing with the pencil, and I mark them because, of course, then it gets this feeling of, you know, the bicycle looks better. But when I go later for the paint, then it's all gone. And I mean, a lot of pencil details we do, they're gone with the paint. So it's kind of already like later with experience, you already know, and then. But anyway, sometimes it helps to, of course, because it gives you the feeling of, you know, and even if later in the paint it can be gone, then. Okay, so I continue just with the so black parts of the bicycle. So just be careful also not to mark the leg. Yeah, so go around with the.
I'm going to send you a picture.
Yes, let's take a look.
Because I have really struggled with that bike. But I think I'm getting there.
All right, I'm getting it. So,
I'm struggling.
Well, of course, for example, your leg, yeah, of the girl is really long, yeah. For example, so either you do the wheels, yeah, I wouldn't.
Wheels bigger.
Yeah, so either you put the sitting like lower, yeah, but then it means you kind of have to lower your body a bit. But it also looks nice. I mean, even if like the proportion, the leg, because can you feel the leg is a bit long?
It is, but I quite like it.
Yes, that's what I meant. So it doesn't have to be like photographic. Yes, it's
No.
the opposite.
I'm just thinking about bringing the wheels down a bit further.
But the wheels are nice. The front wheel can a bit more like so. Okay, we're talking about front wheel, and then the left side can go a bit more straight. Yeah, so like the part where the front wheel is touching the ground can be moved a little bit to left. Yes.
Right.
So then kind of because now it feels it's a bit, or maybe she's like feels she's turning maybe. Yeah, that's why the.
Yeah. So I've done the front ones because she's wobbling a bit because she's holding an umbrella. So I thought, oh, I know what I'll do.
So, but you see, you've managed to show the feeling. She's like, oh yeah, and yeah. But I really like your body proportions. You know, it can be, of course, more.
On that back wheel. That's the only thing I just. I'm struggling that back wheel. Maybe I'm going to make it not so round.
Like, but still, it's correct that the back wheel is more round, the front wheel is more.
Right. Okay. Well, if I take out the pencil a bit more because it's quite dark.
But then later, just when you say, okay, it's good, you just kind of with the razor go in all the drawing, yeah, and you still see the lines because you, of course you did them, you still see, but then for the paint, it's
that way. Because I might go over it with a black marker pen afterwards.
Yeah, so I think also you can do the background and then just do these shape silhouettes on top of what you have painted with aquarelle with this black. So like what we're doing now, these bicycle lines.
Yeah, because she's going to have a rucksack on her back as well.
Right. So I keep on marking with black. So then I say, okay, what else I have? I have this umbrella part, but also I'm marking with black just the under part. Yeah, the umbrella itself will be more gray, more light. So don't make upper part umbrella black, yeah, because then it will be gone. And again, I'm making like the central part the bigger and the sides of this under umbrella part more smaller, yes. And again, it gives then the effect of, yes. So what else? I can do the shoe, yeah. Then, but it's also so once you're sure your leg is there, you can do the shoe, or you can go for the body, for the leg. Yes, and then in case it has some corrections, then you do this the heel. Yeah. But I'll open the shoe now because I'm pretty sure where I've put it. I remember when I was living in Berlin, I actually was doing this. I was living kind of 10 minutes from work, and when it was raining, I was just bicycling with umbrella, and it's you know, because it was the like office, so to arrive to the office, you know,
That's a really
you have
good
to save
idea.
your hair and.
Most important.
Yeah, I mean, but bicycling home under the rain is cool because you can get all wet, and it doesn't matter because you're going home. But of course, you're going to the office.
Going to work, you don't want to sit.
You don't want to arrive like
nose.
a wet rat.
Yeah, nothing worse.
But
Right, okay.
bicycling in the summer under rain is really cool. I think it's
Yeah, it's like swimming in the rain. I like that in the sea.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. Darren, we're getting your sun. It's just coming out.
But it's actually pouring down rain here at the moment. So.
You obviously sending it this way.
Okay,
so
Portsmouth and Plymouth are swapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
So also with the black, I can mark also these under the arm. Yeah, so a little bit. Also, you need to know, for example, like the important part. So this shadow under the arm is important. Like you can't miss it in drawing because that's the one that gives you all this feeling. Yeah, I mean, some other shadows, if you see the photo, you can skip. It's also, that's why drawing from photographs, it's in some way more difficult because it's more difficult to discard unnecessary stuff. Yeah, of course. So when you're drawing live, you kind of automatically what's not important is more gone. Yeah? So okay, what then quickly I will mark also. So then I can mark just kind of window shapes. So just maybe just a little bit somewhere. But also maybe not too black, yes, because then later with the wall and with the color we choose for the wall, yes, because we also don't want to make it all just too black. But since we are choosing to do the windows with light, then we have to do the wall more dark, yeah. But also trying to avoid, just marking all too black. But, so I'm kind of, again, using very little water on my brush and just also like touching my paper with the brush, not very firmly, so like halfly in the air. And then I can have this kind of different, yeah. So I can mark also these corners, or it depends, yeah. On my drawing, I've marked them just with the gray. Maybe it's even better, yeah, just to do them, not to have too many black lines, yeah, because. So the next step I have my black on my brush, and then I just get into more white. Yes, I can also, for example, maybe clean my brush. If I have little paint left, I can go straight in. But my aim is now just to get the gray. Yeah, so with the same black. And I can also create different grays. For example, now with my brush being dirty, I got my gray more dark. But cleaning the brush, and then I can, next to this, I can create like two grays, one darker, one lighter, yes, and then I can play with both of them around my, and we go back now for the rest of details. We can start with the lighter gray, because then it gives us the chance to darken up some stuff where we want to. Yeah, so I have light gray, and I go for this inside part of the wheel, so this right side, yes. And a little bit more I can touch up on this, like on the left side of the wheel, yeah, like from inside. The same on the other wheel. And if it feels too light, yeah, because now I'm creating this metal ring, yeah, and it feels now too light, then I just go into darker gray and can create this a little border of a bit darker, yes. So in the back, for example, I can do a bit more, some maybe some shadows, yeah. So I'm taking a look on the drawing and just where it's needed. So maybe these some parts. I can also all on top, for example, when I said this wheel protection, yes, now it's also dry. And it's also when you use this dry brush, it's all dry very quickly. So I kind of go on top with my gray and it covers. So then I can create this feeling that it's a bit metal and some stuff is there. Yeah. So just different touch-ups with the gray where it's needed. I forgot the also with the black. Could straight away you could mark the reflection on the street, but it's also not, because later even you can mark it on top because the street will be lighter. So, but you can mark it later correct, yeah, if it's not too black enough. And of course you could create the darkest part of the shadow is always under the object. So under the wheel, you make it more thick, yeah, and more dark. And then when it goes away, then it lightens up. So I keep on playing with my gray. I see her jumper, yeah, so we choose it also neutral. If you wish to, you can of course go creative and like leave the jumper now untouched and do all the drawing, and they say maybe my jumper is red, yes, and then it also makes just different style, different interesting. Maybe I'll do this. I'll leave my jumper now empty, and when I'm finished, then I can choose color, and if I want, I can choose gray if I still feel to. Oh, the umbrella, we're still with grays. Yes, so then the umbrella, you start with it's better to start with the lighter, so almost white, almost kind of very close to white, yeah, to make it more. So this left side of umbrella is almost, it's very light, yeah, and then we go kind of darkening. And so is it easy with the gray to pass for the really dark gray, like, so then you're more careful. That's where you start. You can cover even more space with light gray, and then kind of slowly get in with the darker, and then you avoid losing, yes, your light spot, because we all know getting darker is not a problem at all. Yeah? And then when like you did the coloring, and if it feels too, okay, maybe it's too light, then no worries, just getting in with more dark. So we did also the gradient in umbrella. So the black parts, yeah, I think we're gonna leave the black for now. Later on, we always come back when we need more details. We can go now just quickly for the hair. Now let's go for the pants maybe first, and then we go for the brown, because then brown we can use also for the background of the house. Yeah, so clean the brush. It's clean. You can also, okay, maybe for the paints, smaller brush, but then later for the pavement, we can go with a bigger brush. Yeah, so then I just take again, just blue, lighten up with some white. Yeah, so, but again, feel free to choose your color of paints. Yeah, but I think blue is nice. It kind of connects a bit with this, with the pavement. We do it. Yeah. So you can mark the paints just clear blue, and just, yeah, we go for the street, and later when it's dry, we can do this black shadow touch-ups on the paints. Yeah. Yeah, so I just kind of leave the base on the paints, and I go for the street. So also we're gonna do two differences. The surface where she is bicycling, we're gonna do a bit more dark, and pedestrian part is gonna be lighter. Yeah, so again, I can have my blue, add more white, have it so. But then don't forget to save your reflections of the windows. Yeah, so so I'm marking just blue. So no, at the moment, no black, nothing. Later we can darken them up with some gray, but now it's just nicer color, just blue. Yeah, and I'm just leaving some spots on the pavement. Yeah, okay, maybe a bit too light, too white, maybe a little bit more. Again. And also here behind the bicycle, I can color also a bit. Just, I mean, not to forget, because it's sometimes just once you have this color on your brush, not forget and mark some spots behind the bicycle. And then I do my blue a bit darker. Yes. So if now, for example, now I feel also it's maybe a bit too light for, yeah, but we know darken is easiest. And then again, I save a bit more the space for the light on my, where the lights are. Here you can take, feel free to take bigger brush, yeah. But here also I use a little, like I use the water, but I also use, when my brush becomes losing water, and then I leave these brush strokes. Yes. It's also because it's all not, when it's rain, then it has all this kind of this texture, this feeling. Yes, a lot of different reflections, a lot of game of. So this dry brush really helps us to create it. So also a little bit shine with my. And so if it feels to, you can darken up. Yeah. All right, so that's the base part. Now I can wash my brush. What I can do, let's go for the yellow of the windows and the reflections. It's still just choosing, you know, to work with light colors and then go up with the brown, you know, where we have browns in the hair, and then kind of go darkening and putting the night. Yeah, so I take yellow and I also take it with some white. So I take yellow more pure for the windows and yellow with more white for the pavement reflections. Yeah. So you can also what you can take, for example, now I'm taking just pure yellow, sorry, for the windows, yes, and I leave just some strokes, so not doing like, not covering all the window with the pure yellow, but just some strokes. And then I will wash my brush and go in just with the white. Yeah, so kind of mixing on the paper. And of course you won't go mixing them totally. Yeah, so some parts will mix, some not, but it will create. So now I go into the white and kind of get in. Yeah, so if you want, you can also get in with white that is a little bit more yellow. And kind of, but you have to do it straight away, yes, till it's all dry. Yeah, so if needed, you add more. But it just creates interesting shapes, yes. So. And no worries, you can cover all the space of the window, even this corner that I was mentioning, because later we can make it darker gray. Yeah, so I mean, in case you have missed it and covered. Yeah, and then you can play more. If it's a bit too light, you can again get into gray. And I'm really working a lot with dry brush. Yeah, so of course I have some water. The kind of dry one gives me, of course, more control. I put more water when I need to cover more space. Yes, for example, also with the windows, if I say, okay, just more space to cover, I put a bit more water, cover, and then I come back for the yellow, just pure color, more dry, and can work some accents on. Yeah, so we have also our windows, not just plain yellow, but some game and some, yeah. And we go for reflections. Here, it's not necessary to do all these kind of games, just could be just one plain yellow, yeah, because it's reflecting more in a homogeneous way. Yeah, but here also be careful not to mix, as we have here blue and yellow, you know, it's mixing will be green. We don't really want green there. So either be careful and kind of avoid them mixing up, or wait till blue is more dry, then you can go over. It's a little bit like with the sky when we are mixing, when we did the sun, and then we do blue and it mixes in green, and then it's like, oh, because there is no green in the sky. So I'm just kind of avoid touching them up. Because still later we're gonna go on top with some gray, to leave the reflections not so like straight, to create some differences. But still, I'm of course marking this yellow because of course it's important parts to save, and when later we go on darkening, but then we still go more on the blue parts, not on yellow. I did my windows, the reflections. Still, it's all basically just yellow and white. I can do maybe some yellow touch-ups on the basket. Yes, on my previous drawing, it turned up too dark, too brown. So maybe I'll also try. So I do just some yellow touch-ups, and later I can still darken it with some brown. Yeah. So we can go move to the brown. Yes, to have our girl figure more or less also finished. Yes, to have my feeling. So I take with some brown. So also again, choosing hair color can be different. So the only here important thing, you do the hair and you put more shadow where it's under umbrella. Yes, so you can paint it all first, just put all the same color. Yeah. And also dry brush here is also good help, because for the hair, it also leaves all these lines. Yeah, and then I can get into black and just kind of cover. And I can do also a bit more black under the hair. Yeah, there is also a bit kind of more shadow, but also very lightly. Yes, not to overdo. Can do some. So since now we're doing this kind of black parts, I can come back for the pants. Yes, there is so under the knee, under the where the pants is finishing, and then so we choose some darkened side, like some shadow side, and then we create some gray, let's say here on the left side of the pants. And so here also where she's sitting and the pants. It's also lightly, so can start first with lighter gray, and then if it's needed, you can darken it. Also under the jumper, some. And it also helps. So if you put some dark spots, then you can kind of blur a bit into. But of course, the space is very small, yes, of the paint. So it's also good to leave some parts of paints just blue, clean blue color, yeah, and so not to mess too much with the shadow. So one has to be careful and understand. Okay, so I can't put too much paint there, because then blurring it out, it will ruin my light part. Okay, then again with the brown, I can do the sitting. I can do some the basket. So the basket also has the shadow under this part where kind of curving. Yeah. You can put something in the basket if you want. Of course, typically there are some flowers, but if we have rain, can invent. She can go with apples, anything. So you know, to make also some bit more interesting the painting. So we have to mark her face and her leg, so not to leave it like invisible. And then I suggest just taking some brown, yellow, so kind of mixing what I have on my palette. Yes, I have yellow, just add a bit maybe more brown, and so it's really some kind of neutral color. Yeah. Then I just color the leg and the head. So the head can also make a bit more darker under the umbrella part. But yeah, very little bit just. When we will do the wall, yes, then it will also kind of shape more the figure. Mm-hmm. So for the wall, so I suggest, you know, not to spoil it with all just too black, too dark. So work again with the dry brush, so it will help leaving us these marks, yes, and but try to invent some color on your palette, yes, that is not, it's kind of dark, but here I added a bit more orange, yes, some spots, and ending a bit more white, yeah, so maybe like gray. So difference, yeah. Later we can go on top and darken some parts, yeah, because still we need like the most darken ups are like next to the window where the light is. Yes, the part behind the girl we can do less paint, more clear. Yes. So let's say, well, I'll take some brown here, mixing it yeah, maybe with some yellow. Let's try maybe some orange. Yeah, can also work interesting. So I have here now some warm color of brown and orange. And let's say I can experiment and do some lines, yeah, since it's not too dark yet, yeah. So I'm kind of, it's also now I'm kind of trying out, yeah. So I'm putting this brown, and later I go on top and darken it with black just in some parts, and so I'll have some light parts left, yeah. So, and here I have handy like a bit fluffy brush, and it's a bit more white, so I can have all these kind of stripes. Yeah. Somewhere you can do like vertical lines, yeah, just also to break, not to make too horizontal. Yeah. Okay, let's add a bit more black, so darken up a bit. So I have added black, now it's a bit too dark. I can go back again into my orange. Yeah. So it's kind of black with orange now. And let's say I go back for the windows. So, but still kind of, I'm being careful and not covering all at once. Yes, so I go slowly and then I say, okay, here is more necessary, I will cover. Yeah, but so it's like you're being unsure, and then you're taking small steps, and like I say, okay, next to the window, I'm more or less sure I want to have it dark. then I'm marking dark. Yes, but with the rest, I'm still kind of playing, checking. Yeah, that's why I go slowly with more lighter. Yes, then I can, when it's needed, and I can stop.
Thanks, Dan. We've got the rain.
Ah.
Sorry.
So also, for example, where I can use again more sure, yeah, that I'm using more black dark color. So I can create, for example, here the basket. I can use it to create a bit the shape, yeah. So I'm putting this black color around the basket, so my basket shows off. Yeah, something, yeah. But still, of course, it all slowly has to go darken up, yes, because then we're creating this night feeling. But we're just going slowly, just to stay like safe and not to darken all too much. So I can go a little bit also around my umbrella, especially around this part where it's more, where I did it more light. Yeah, so then again, it helps me to show off the, and we forgot, I can forgot to do is the pole, umbrella. Right. Let's see. So above the windows, I can go also darker. Yeah, so it's kind of now putting this dark and feeling, okay, where I'm safe to put dark, yeah. Behind, under the windows, you can also make these wider stripes, you know, it's like this window part where you can sometimes sit. So there it's also kind of nice marking, more dark. So somewhere you can play with the gray again, yes. And for example, here you can create also some different, some shapes, some lines, yeah. It can be whatever. It's maybe some something on the wall, some posters, some advertising. Something is there, so you can also. So also I can go back to with my smaller brush and create these insides of the windows. Yeah, it will also help me out already kind of have it more together, the painting, and then decide where I need still some parts. So let's say they can be dark gray, maybe also some brown if you want, or in this mixture that I have, like with orange. Let's see if I get in with some white. Yeah. So maybe it's kind of light grayish brown, something, yeah, but I can just some stripes, let's say, maybe too, if they are now they're maybe too dark, but then it means later I can darken a bit outside, or a bit more white and make them a bit more lighter. Yeah. So here. So, yes, and again, now using the brush, I just have to remember in my head that for the windows that are on the left side, that are closer to us physically, I just do this part bigger, yes. And for the windows smaller, more far away, I do it. And also I can do a bit more different, so not to leave this kind of angle the same, I can do the upper part a bit more shadowish, a bit more darker. Yes, because usually this one, because we're standing with the vision, you know, this, so it's kind of shadow on this upper part. There is always more shadow, yes, than on the vertical. Yeah, so just to, and the corner is always this diagonal. Yeah, it's kind of how it connects. Yes, and now I did them, and now I'm kind of feeling more sure, more brave about darkening a bit more above the windows. Yes. So then these lines that we did now, these corners of the window, it's kind of showing more off. Yeah? So. And also always kind of looking back on your picture, and like, we're kind of getting slowly of the feeling of the night. Yes, so you paint and then you stop, sit back on sit more far away from your drawing and decide, yeah, which direction is it going, drawing. Yeah. So we can leave the wall for now, so I'm leaving it a bit. I have a lot of white spots still, but I'm gonna leave them to go for the ground, and then later I can decide if I need more some darkened spots. Yeah. So with the ground, we have it all like too blue. Yeah. So we need to also put a bit more kind of reflection of the wall. Yeah. So it's also more dark. So I'm just taking my. I think I'll take a wider brush, and I am going now for gray. Yes, I'll be going on top of my blues with gray. So, and I can prepare again 2 grays, yeah, one lighter, one darker, and then I can play at the same time with both of them. Yeah, so some black, some white. So I create them first on my palette. Yes. Okay, one lighter. And one darker. Yes. And then I also have my napkin, and I'm kind of drying my brush. Yes, also, so if I feel it's too wet, I just do some touch-ups on the napkin, and then it helps me to control more. So I have colors, but I have my brush more or less dry. Yeah. And again, to be on the safe side, I go with the lower side of my drawing. Yeah, so where already the tape is. So I can start there a bit more darker. See how my gray is showing off. Yes, if it's, so for example, now I put it, okay, it's light enough, so I'm safe. And I can go with the light touch-ups on my blue. Yeah, so I'm still trying to keep my blue, yes, but I'm just, for example, I can darken a bit under the black line where the difference is between the pavement. Yes, no worries, you can go over a bit on the yellow as well. So I'm slowly doing some gray touch-ups, yes, and I'm using light gray now, and I'm going all over where I have grays. Yes, since I have kind of light color on my brush, so I feel safe. And I go in different parts. And later I can come back with darker gray and where it's needed. Yeah. So also on the upper side of where is the light blue, I do the same, maybe more careful. Yeah. Maybe a bit less touch-ups, less gray. So I'm kind of darkening. Yes. So, I can use also to darken a bit some parts of the wall if I need, yeah, because kind of this neutral gray color, it just helps because I have some white parts of paper left, so it helps me to get rid of the white spots, but leaving them neutral, kind of gray, yeah, so not. And so now it's basically looking at the drawing and deciding where is missing, yes, where to add more dark. Yeah. So for example, I can I'm taking my smaller brush and okay, maybe this line of the pavement, yes, I can be more brave and make it more, yeah, bigger, dark if I want. If it's got lost in all these blues and yeah, and then I don't forget and I can mark it a bit more lighter. Yes, again with the both lighter color and less paint. Also here behind the bicycle, yeah, just and then I say, okay, I still want it more dark, more night. Yes. So I'm just going a bit more darker with on my paint. Yes. Also, for example, for the windows, now can compare. So I have here just yellow, very bright, and here on the top I did some dark marks. Let's say maybe there are people sitting or anything. Also to break a bit from this pure empty windows. Yes, but it depends which ones you prefer. If you feel you know, so here you can compare how it looks, both of them. Yes, here with some dark spots, here is more empty. Yeah, both can work. Yeah, so I still keep on darkening my drawing. So it, you know, till the level I say, okay, it feels it's the night. Yeah, so maybe here where the wall is starting, maybe there I can put more dark. I'm taking also brown, mixing with some black. So I have kind of not pure black, but still some dark feeling. Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe now it's working better. I can also you can also go and come back, mark the bicycle. Yeah, so for example, to have it still more showing off, more central, you can just go on top and mark more like this part of the wheel, the back part of the wheel where is like more black. You can just repeat with the black the shape. Yeah, so to all right, and I have to decide about the color of the jumper. Well, I'll try some, yeah, red or orange. Let's say how the bright will look. So I will, so mark a bit again the bicycle with the black. So I just go back with thin brush into black color. And also feel free, you know, kind of to exaggerate a bit and make it bigger, the wheel. Yeah? So it's not necessary to stay in the size you've painted. So, but if it feels you want to mark it, yeah, if it got lost, so you just kind of make it a bit bigger, because still it's the important part of the drawing. Yes. So if with painting the wall you got lost, then you just go back and repeat some lines. Yeah, so it's again under the attention. Yeah, and again with the shadow, I can go back again. More touch-ups for the shadow of the wheels. So where also the wheel is touching the ground. Yeah. So maybe here the front part of the wheel, build it. So it's also being more brave, and it's already for the lines you already did. So you already know where they are and everything. And you just kind of say, here they are again. Yes, they are. Again, for example, marking between these two lines that connecting the wheels, the front one, mark again so it's more visible, more black. And the one behind the wheel, it will automatically stay more. You can also mark a bit more, maybe something chair, sitting part. Yeah, so it's during the when you're drawing, it's normal. You always come back to mark again the important parts. Yeah, so it's if they get lost with by putting all the rest. All right, I will experiment with the red color or maybe orange. Yeah, something mix. I'll mix red and orange. The jumper. Yeah. And just since I have two drawings, so I'm just using a chance to see how one thing is working. Let's say, and then it's also I want to mark my jumper red, like everywhere the same red. Yes, I will go. So if I have it dark, yes, I will do some dark parts, but then I will also do some light red parts. Yeah, so it means just going into the white. Yeah, more or less. Yes. So if you like did it not happy, just wait till it dries, and you know with gouache you can also go on top with other color. It's even if it's dark color, you can go on top with light one. Yeah, but just since it's dry, I can correct my hair, for example. Yeah, so. And also, for example, if I have too much white space left around the figure, yes, because of course we were wanting to save the, yeah, not to make it too dark. I can now take my brush more watery, and again with some neutral color, let's say light brown, or here I'm mixing, so I have red, I mixed it a bit with the black, I have kind of, and I can go with the watery brush just around these white spots I have left. Yeah, so just to so just to make the figure more of the girl more visible. So, but in this thing, the watery brush is better, helps, yeah, because it kind of covers what's in between. Yeah. And then I can come back, mark the line of the umbrella. This is also, so you choose which parts are kind of important or makes the painting. Yeah, so this vertical line of umbrella, because then it's already something vertical marks. And I'll go to work a bit more with jumper, let's say, a bit more color. And then I can let it dry and get in with some different color. So what, for example, let's try also as experiment to paint these parts on the wheel. Yeah, the Jules were talking about these lines. Again, have to be very careful because they're very thin. So really, I would have my brush dry and just kind of dip into, okay, let's say black, or it could be even maybe gray better, yeah, because they're still, I want to show them, but I don't want to show them jumping into my eyes like the parts of the wheel, yes, so just making them notice. So let's try. And so I have gray color on my brush and very dry my brush, and then just, so if you look on the picture, so it also helps to study the photo, yeah, so what's visible, especially in this like bicycle, yeah, just also helps to study how the bicycle is constructed and which part connects with which. And there you can see it's visible only on the bottom part, these lines. So I'll try to, okay, no, something, so I can mark them also, but also don't mark them all around the wheel, yes, mark them just some in some part. So if you want them to have them on, well, something I imagine on the screen, maybe it's almost nothing visible. Let me try to, I'll try to darken them a bit so it's visible on computer, on your screen. Yeah, but on my drawing, maybe I would leave them more with less color, but I just make them darker so you can see if it's worse or not painting them at all. Yeah? So for example, what else I can do? I can take also, I have here blue, can have my brush also watery, and I can go again with some, so because we were using this dry brush, very dry brush technique, so I have a lot of course, spaces of just white paper left. Yeah, so, and if in some places it bothers you, then you just take the color and very watery and just kind of get in. Yes, but I take lighter color, lighter than I have around. Yeah, so for example, here around the shoe, because of course I was careful not to touch it, so I just painted around. But now I can kind of fill in somewhere where I say, okay, maybe it's too white feeling. Yeah. Yeah, but still I'm trying to use kind of different lighter color, so it doesn't covers all in the same, but still leaves this game with brush strokes. And like this, you usually then you kind of keep on working on your drawing. So, yeah. That's what. But of course, this technique works if you with acrylics, yeah, or gouache. With watercolors, it's really different. For example, I have a friend, and she's doing similar art workshops as I do, but she does it on Sundays, and she does it always with watercolors. But she does it mainly on German. Yeah, so she has also some Russian speaking too, but almost everyone is from Germany, so it's mostly. Yeah, but I join her sometimes to paint, just when I have, because it's nice to be on the other side as a student, and then she's the one explaining, and you're just the one. But I always end up anyway using watercolors as if it's acrylics, so I'm kind of always making fun of myself. But of course I follow the way she explains. She likes to do a lot of water, both and water and reflection. And of course, she has this technique, like you make the paper wet, and then then you put one color, and sometimes you use the hair dryer, to dry, so it's sooner. Yeah, and I mean, she has it good with a good aquarelle technique.
Let's do different things.
Yeah, with aquarelle, it's really you kind of have let go the control and what the paint is mixing, but at the same time, it of course takes experience to know, because it's easy to get messy, and like children when they're painting with watercolors, usually they end up all in brown, because it all just you mix the colors, and we know when all the colors are mixing.
You've got to be quite disciplined, haven't you, with it? That's for sure.
Yeah. So then it's kind of you need to know this watercolor technique to keep some spots clean and some areas.
Well, I've gone a bit crazy on this one.
Because so of course with the acrylics, it's kind of you can come back as well.
Yes. Yeah, and you keep, it's very kind. You can keep sort of going over it.
Yes, so dry and of course in watercolors you also can do the second layer. Yes, but there are many things.
You've got to be more disciplined though, because if you start doing too much.
Yes, and in the watercolors also it's kind of you have to make painting in one set and it's done. And so of course, I mean we can paint in acrylics also on canvas, and you can sit there and in a few days come back and so it's so let's
all right. Oops. Oh no.
Okay, Darren sent the picture. Yay! Wow, nice, Darren. Very bright. Very.
I'm gonna draw on my screen. That's good enough.
Cool. I like the.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you, Darren.
Also, like you did, so Darren went for the shadows in the windows. Yeah, it looks nice. Someone sitting there, something happening. Just maybe, like for example, for the reflections on the pavement, the yellow ones, maybe I would go a bit less yellow. Yes.
Yeah.
Because now they're kind of competing, the windows with the floor. Yeah. So you can just go, just either on top, mix some yellow with white on your palette, and just kind of lighten a bit. Yeah. Like especially here behind the back wheel. Yeah. It's, yeah. Like try to. So for example, on my drawing, I got it a bit different. I got it more like light in general. So on opposite, I can go, for example, and make a bit more, some spots of more yellow. So then it creates the game. Yeah. So also, for example, I can recognize Darren. He likes really paint with more bright, like his drawings always. Like Jules, I know you have it all more soft colors. Yeah.
Today.
Something has to do maybe with character as well. Huh? We all have.
I always noticed Mel's is a slightly more sort of soft, more sort of pastel type shade than
Yes.
mine.
It's funny though. We all got little ways of doing things, haven't we?
It is, yes. That's why I find it also very nice. We have this common chat, and we all can see. Yeah, and then you just kind of, you see you're not wrong. You're just different, and
Yeah,
so.
it's inspiring. I always find it really inspiring looking at other people. Okay, right, prepare yourself.
Oh, we're almost done with time. I wasn't looking at time. Oh, we're.
I know, it's whiz past every week. It's like that, though. I don't know where the 2 hours go.
Yeah.
Right, let's take a picture. I feel inspired because it's pouring with rain.
But of course, I think it needs more practice to do the feeling of night. Yeah, it's or for example, when you want to paint a candle, yeah, that is with the fire, you really need to make all around really black, yeah, to get the feeling
so it really comes out.
Yeah, the candle is shining, so it's
right. I've just sent it.
All right, yeah, I see it loading.
Really abstract.
Oh, my slow internet doesn't want to load it. Come on, come on. Ooh, nice. So Jules added flowers. You made her blonde. Cool. And I really love your wheels. No?
Yeah, well, I just thought because I want to get the feeling of motion on them. I thought,
Yeah.
I know, because there's a couple of tubes in this watercolor set, and I thought, I know, is I'll just go and put it on with that. I might just go back with the window. No, I'm not. I am not going to touch any more on that. I'm going to leave it because I start fiddling around with it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be raining. You can't really see what's going on because it's that wet and because it is outside now. Literally like that. I'm inspired by outside.
Okay, Darren has. Yeah, you see, now it kind of looks better. The Darren one with the light and with the yellow more light on the.
Oh yeah, look at that yellow. I like the yellow.
not competing so much, and still
I
very
really
nice,
liked
very
it.
bright. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's brilliant.
cool.
Well
Yeah.
done, Darren.
Good too. It was a good too, Jules.
That is really good. I really like it. You can really feel. See, we're inspired by the rain today.
Yeah.
Yay!
We're living it.
I'm sorry if my topic brought some rain.
Yeah, it's your fault. How could you?
Yeah. All right, the
That'd be
sweet
nice.
part of taking the tape off.
Yeah, it's definitely better, but it's still taken off the paper. I think I need to get the low tack. This is not low tack.
Yeah.
I took this from work, so it's not low tack. I was like, oh, yesterday, that's handy. I'll take that. I'll take it back. Obviously, I haven't stolen it.
Oh,
I just thought I'll just try it to see. Thank you, Evie. Anyway,
yeah.
brilliant.
Thank you guys for joining. I'm happy you're coming. I'm waiting for our lessons. I'm happy you keep on joining. No?
Have you got much planned this week then? Are you going into the capital?
Oh, I might too. Yes, because my boyfriend, he might have to do some surgery. So then maybe we will move to the capital.
Surgery? So
yeah,
he's a doctor. Surgeon.
No, I mean, no, he has some problem with the shoulder. So,
Oh, I see. He has to have
he
it.
has, yeah. So then he has have to some treatment recovery. So we'll see. But it's still all kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, but still, it's all good by the beach, and yeah. So
Well, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you guys there because
Yeah,
I've got
same
to do
here.
some,
sure, yeah.
plans in my
Okay.
shop.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Darren. Nice,
Yeah.
nice window lights.
Have a good week.
Yeah.
And you as well, Evie. Have a good week.
Have a good week, everyone. Take care.
Bye bye.
All right, and see you soon.